28th, 1986. This is Joe, Todd, and Jean Miller, an interview with Mrs. Katherine Carter in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Ma'am, where were you born?
Location?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
About 3 miles southeast of here. Shawnee.
And when's your birthday?
October 3rd, 1914.
1914. Who was your father?
Henry Elephant.
Henry Elephant. And your mother?
Annie
And what was her name before she was married?
Washington.
Washington. Were both your parents from this area?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what tribal group are your parents?
Well, my dad was absentee Shawnee.
And your mother?
My mother half, Creek.
Mm-hmm. Okay, was your mother from the Creek Nation? Was she?
Yeah. Around Seminole.
Seminole. Mm-hmm. What type of work did your father do?
He farmed.
Farm. And were you born on the farm?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Was that his allotment, the farm?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When did the absentee Shawnees allot their land? You don't know.
Don't remember.
Mm-hmm. And also, where did the name absentee Shawnee originate?
What?
Where did the name absentee Shawnee originate? Why are they called absentee Shawnee?
Oh, I should know that, but I don't.
Mm-hmm. And before coming to Oklahoma, where were the Shawnee located?
I think at Mission, Kansas.
Shawnee Mission? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have you heard any stories about the removal, about bringing the Shawnee down to Indian Territory?
Yes, I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Ohio, too.
Uh-huh. Do you know when they were moved from Ohio to Kansas?
No.
Okay. Now, your father was born in Oklahoma, correct?
Well, he didn't talk about it to us much, you know,
Yeah.
but I know he was. Mhm.
Yeah. Did your grandfather come into the territory with the Shawnee?
I never did see him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where does the name elephant come from?
That was my dad's father's name. I don't know.
Because that's an unusual name, I'd say.
Yeah. I don't know how true it is, but they said long back when the child was born, the first animal they saw, that's what they named it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had heard.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that interesting?
Now, is there a ceremony when they name the children? Or just the first animal they see?
That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's just a joke.
You know, I've heard that also.
Yeah, then it's true.
Mm-hmm. As a small girl, what chores did you do in the farm?
What
What chores, what work did you have to do around the farm?
Well, feed chickens, hogs, old
Gather
cotton.
eggs? Did you gather eggs?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we gathered eggs.
You said you hold cotton?
Yeah.
You ever chop cotton?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about chopping cotton.
Well, it wasn't so bad. We have to get used to it.
Mm-hmm. Now, why do you chop cotton? What's the purpose of it?
Well, to make it grow, that was our income in the fall when it was made.
Now, how long were your cotton rows?
How long?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd say 3 blocks long.
Mm-hmm. And when you planted the cotton seed, was it planted how did you plant the seed?
He had a planter.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then did you thin the cotton out?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that chopping cotton?
Yep.
How far did you thin the plants? How big the space between them?
Oh, about 12, 14 inches.
Mm-hmm. And how often did you have to hoe the cotton while it was growing? Or was that just an ongoing job?
Well, I guess about every 2 weeks. Seemed like it was all summer long, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It lasted that long.
And when did you begin picking cotton?
Around September.
September? And how long would you pick?
Well, till around Halloween when it come getting cold.
How many pounds did you pick in a day?
Then, a kid, I could get around 100.
Mm-hmm. What's the most you ever picked in one day?
About that much.
About 100? How many pounds could you pull?
I pull I don't know what them bags would hold, but when it got full, it looked like about 6 foot long. You know, when it got heavy and I couldn't drag it, then I go in.
Mm-hmm. What breed of cotton did you grow? Do you know?
No,
What else did you raise in the farm besides cotton?
sweet potatoes and Indian corn, horse corn, or field corn.
Mm-hmm. How big was your garden?
Oh, half a block square. Pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Did you grow black-eyed peas,
Oh yeah, that's what we raised on, black-eyed peas and
green beans?
cabbage, green beans, radish, onion.
Black-eyed peas is good eating.
Mm-hmm. Turnips.
Who did the laundry around the house?
Well, we did.
How'd you do it?
On a washboard and tubs. Heat our water in a big kettle.
I heard one lady talking about washwood and stove wood. What's the difference between washwood and stove wood? Or is there a difference?
Well, they'd use big longer poles for the washwood to put on the kettle. That's washwood.
And stove wood is?
Short to fit in a stove.
Okay. How long would it take to heat the water for the washing in the pot?
Well, I kinda don't remember. I'd say an hour, for it to heat up.
Did you make your own soap?
No. Bought soap. P&G, Crystal White.
Did you do the ironing?
Yeah.
What kind of iron did you use?
One of them old-fashioned heavy irons, with a...
Sad iron?
You have to use a pad to hold hold it in the iron. We ironed on the table. We didn't have a 2-pour to have ironing board.
Now, the next question. How much of a shirt or a dress did you iron before the iron got cold? You have to change it.
Oh, I'd say 15 minutes.
15 minutes. How many irons did you have?
Iron, we had 2.
You had 2. What about starch? Did you make your starch or did you buy starch?
We all ever starched.
You didn't. What kind of house do you have in the farm?
What kind of what?
House.
House? We had a 2-room.
With a frame? Frame house?
Yeah. But I was born in a half-log house and frame.
Now, when you say half log and half frame, which half was log?
The kitchen, I think.
What kind of stove did your mother cook on in that house?
No, wood stove, old-timey.
Who chopped the wood for the stove?
My dad.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
Got one brother and a sister. Now, we did help him saw the wood.
What kind of saw did you use?
Well, one had a handle on each end,
An old buck saw?
Yeah.
You ever help out in the fields besides picking cotton?
Yeah, we'd have to gather corn, feed the chickens.
How many acres a day could your father plow?
Oh, it looked like he'd work all day. He had 40 acres.
And how much of that? Oh, I'm sorry.
He'd be out there all day plowing.
How much of that 40 acres would he get plowed in that one day?
Well, at the bottom, he'd about 10 acres.
He had horses or mules?
Horses.
Horses. What's better to plow with? Do you like horses or mules? Which are easier to plow with?
I think horses.
You ever help plow in the fields?
No.
That's the Shawnee Band. Are you Big Jim or Sand Hill? Is it Big Jim or White Turkey?
White Turkey.
You're White Turkey, okay.
White turkey.
Okay, let me go call him.
Okay. I've heard the names Big Jim and Little Jim in the Shawnee. And why the name Big Jim and Little Jim? Any reason?
I wouldn't know.
And you're in the White Turkey clan. Okay. And the other clan is what they call the Big Jim. Okay, they're across the river.
Down Paint the Lakes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now, they're just the two clans and the Shawnee?
Mm-hmm.
When did the Shawnee begin electing their chief?
I couldn't tell you.
And today, besides is he still called chief or is he called governor now?
Governor.
Governor. How's the tribe organized? You have the governor and then you have a council?
Yeah.
How many council members?
I think 3.
3. Okay, now is that just in the White Turkey or is that in the White Turkey and Big Jim both? Both. How are the 3 council members selected?
The vote.
I mean, is there there's 3 council members, how big of an area do they cover in the tribe? Is the tribe just split in 3 sections?
Oh no, they take care of both bands.
Okay, so it's just, they're just elected at large then from the tribe? Okay. You ever served on a council?
My brother does. He probably knows more than I do.
We're going to talk to him tomorrow.
I have a history of on this tribe that my dad's half brother wrote and put in a paper.
What's his name?
The one that wrote Casper Alfred, but he's not living. I have that article at home. I'd have to hunt it.
His last name is Alfred? Okay, now I interviewed a Ruth Music, and her maiden name is Alfred.
Oh, that's another relation. I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Because she had a book, I think, that her father wrote or was written about him or something.
Now this Casper's daughter eats up there, Bertha. But I doubt if she knows.
Do the Shawnee still follow any of the old traditions? What traditions do they follow? They still practice?
There's some still. They've always had feasts, you know. That's to take care of what's gone. They have feasts to feed them. That some still does that.
Is that the ghost dinner? Now, is that held at the funeral, or?
Each year about spring and maybe in the fall.
Okay, so that's for everyone that's already passed on.
Yeah, that's for what's gone.
What other traditions? Is there like a wedding tradition, wedding ceremony?
No, none for that.
Do you speak the language?
No, I understand little. Well, I understand pretty good.
Okay, when I talked to Mrs. Music, she said that a lot of the older Shawnee did not teach their kids the language.
No, they didn't. My dad spoke the language when he'd have company, but not to us.
Why was that?
I don't know.
Now, did the Shawnee have was it ever a written language? It's written down now, isn't it?
No, not that I know.
Okay. How many letters in the Shawnee alphabet? Or do you know?
No.
Yeah, okay. And the Shawnee still have the, I guess, the powwow of the dances. And on what occasion did the Shawnee dance?
No, they don't. They don't. Oh, yes, they do too, down the legs.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've heard of the bread dance.
Yeah, they have that.
Okay, now what is the bread dance?
Well, it's it's when they serve squirrel and bread.
Mm-hmm.
That's in spring and fall.
Mm-hmm. They have that twice a year?
They have 3 in a year. One is a war dance.
War dance.
That's between the bread dances.
Mm-hmm. So is it more or less midsummer?
Yeah, August.
Do the Shawnee have like a warrior society?
No.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Besides these 3 dances, there's no other dances that the Shawnee take part in?
Well, the band up here did have war dance too, but and stomp dances, you know, all along, but they quit.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that there were too many drinking, you know,
Yeah.
fighting, and they just stopped it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I understand that in the old traditional religion that the Heavenly Father was a female figure. Have you heard that?
Heard what?
That the Heavenly Father and the Shawnee in the old religion was female, called Manitou. Have you heard that?
No. Maybe I just never have listened
Yeah.
to the elder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you know either one of your grandparents?
I knew my mother's father,
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa Washington.
Okay. Where was he born?
I think he was born in Pot County.
Mm-hmm. Did he ever tell you any stories about the early days when he was a boy?
No, he wasn't well. You know, time we got about 4 or 5,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't well.
Mm-hmm.
His mind was, you know.
Yeah. Ever heard any stories about the Civil War in this area, in Oklahoma?
No, I never did hear much of that.
Have any memories of World War I?
My uncle was one. The son,
Mm-hmm.
brother to my mother.
Do you remember Armistice Day, 1918?
No,
Okay, that's the day the war ended, November 11th.
I was 4 years old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. 1920s. What did you do in the 1920s?
1920?
Were you still on the farm in the 20s?
1920. Yeah, we're still farming.
Were there many of the young girls around that were flappers in the 20s?
Mm-hmm.
The girls that bobbed their hair and wore the short dresses?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Were you one of them?
Yeah, we wore our dresses short.
Mm-hmm. Did you bob your hair?
Yeah.
What'd your father say?
He didn't tell us much, you know.
Mm-hmm. Where does the word flapper come from?
Flap?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the young girls that bob their hair and wear the dresses.
Well, I don't know.
And what is a flapper? What do they do?
Well, I say cut up, you know, and show off.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. When did you see your first automobile?
When I was about 5.
What did you think when you saw it?
Well, it's all right. We had to go on a bus to, they sent us to Seminole Mission School. We had to ride a bus down there.
When did you go to that school, the Seminole Mission?
Huh?
When did you go to that school?
When?
Yeah. What year did you start?
Well, I went when I was 5 years old. That's,
Is it a boarding school?
yeah.
How many years did you attend that school?
Oh, about 4.5.
Did you live in the dormitory?
Yeah.
Did you have your own room, or was it just an open bay type?
Whole group.
Oh, how many girls in the dormitory?
About 20.
20. How was the dorm decorated? What furniture did you have?
That's all was in their beds.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a table by the bed.
Where'd you
chair.
keep your clothes?
Oh, we had a room. It was off to itself. You kept your clothes in a box, you know, lined up. Each number's on there, each girl.
It's kind of like a locker you kept your clothes in?
Yeah, but they weren't no shut up. They were just, you put your clothes in there.
Oh, yeah, it was just open then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What did you study at school? What classes?
Primer, I failed that. First, second, third, fourth, and about Christmas we come home.
Did you have McGuffey's Reader there?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good book?
Yeah.
Which reader did you get through?
Which reader?
Yeah.
Well, I got through all of them.
There were how many readers in McGuffey? How many did they have?
I don't remember. But I remember that.
What chores did you have at the school? What did you have to do? What kind of work besides your classes?
Well, the time I got in 3rd grade, I had to change detail about every 3 weeks, or maybe once a month. I worked in the laundry and washed dishes. The old dish thing would be way up here to me. And then I waited tables.
How old were you whenever you were washing dishes?
3.
So you could just barely see over the...
Well, no, I guess that's about, we started working in the 3rd grade. I guess that's about 6, 7.
So you could barely see over the place to wash dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you did laundry, was it done by machine or by hand?
They had big wooden machines, not like we got now, you know, they were made out of wood and a little long as that.
How'd they operate?
They opened up. They had a lid
Mm-hmm.
come up. I put them in there.
Okay, were they operated by what, kerosene, gasoline, or by hand?
Gasoline, I guess.
Gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
Did, okay, that school was for boys and girls, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the boys had their separate dorm.
Yeah.
Where'd you take your meals?
Meals.
Mm-hmm.
That was down in the basement. We all ate together, but the boys to the other side.
Mm-hmm. Was that in your dormitory?
We all went to the dining room, one place.
Mm-hmm. Was the dining room a separate building?
It was in the same building, but what is in the basement?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Did the boys have to work, did they raise most of the food for the school?
Mm-hmm.
The boys worked in the field and the girls did the domestic chores?
On milk.
Is that school still going?
No,
When did it close?
about 2 years after we quit.
Were those buildings wood or stone?
Brick.
They were brick. And where is it located, the Seminole Mission?
I think about 6-7 miles south of west. I met him at my aunt's house.
Is he Indian?
Yeah,
What tribe?
Satin Fox.
Okay. Did he know Jim Thorpe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you ever talk about him?
Mm-hmm.
What did he say about him?
Well, they just knew he was a athlete.
The 1930s. How did the Depression affect you and your family?
1930. Well, our crops wasn't much good.
Is that the time when Roosevelt tried the cotton under? Remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
What was your reaction when they plowed all the cotton under?
I don't know if my dad did that.
So you all still raised most of your own food then in the Depression?
Oh, yeah.
So y'all got by fairly good?
Yeah, we didn't buy potatoes all winter. Onions, sweet potatoes.
What did your meals consist of mainly in those years, in the 1930s?
What we raised, Indian corn. We had that all winter.
What kind of meat would you have?
What kind of meat? Squirrel. Beef when we could get it. Rabbits.
So you all fared pretty good then.
Mm-hmm.
Did the absentee Shawnee pretty well help each other out in those years?
Yeah.
So there was good cooperation then among them.
Mm-hmm. Then, not now.
Why not now?
I don't know what's wrong.
Don't feel alone, we're all,
Yeah.
no.
What about World War II?
War II.
41 through 45. Did your husband go to the war?
No. No.
Did you do any work to support the war effort?
To the war?
Yeah. Like some of the women working in defense plants
Yeah, I
or?
worked in chicken factory. They canned chicken
Mhm. Where was this?
downtown.
Well, here in Shawnee?
Harps.
It's called Harps.
Harps.
Okay.
OG Harps.
Did most of that go for the war effort?
Army.
Soldiers?
Army.
Yeah. How long did you work there?
3 years.
3 years. On VJ Day, the war ended. Was there a big celebration here in Shawnee?
I don't remember.
Anything more about the absentee Shawnee? Any other traditions or? I was going to ask, what is the traditional dress of the Shawnee, the absentee Shawnee?
They're way they're made. They're just a skirt, a dress like gathered all around, and with a big collar, with little, supposed to be metal buttons or something around the edge of the collar, and they wore a white apron,
What color is the dress?
usually a dark collar,
Dark color? Because I know,
and they're trimmed with ribbon, down the bottom.
what about the men?
Well, they have shirts.
The ribbon work on the shirts?
What?
Is there ribbon work on the shirts?
They don't use a pattern, I know, they just cut them out. Laid out.
I was talking to a lady, and they made dresses what they call tear patterns. That the white man took all the scissors away from them. And they had to make their clothes and had to tear the material and sew it together because they didn't have scissors.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Of course, this is in the Choctaws, though.
Oh.
That's with James.
Oh, right, okay.
But I think that was right during the Trail of Tears, and they're moving the Choctaws here. Of course, in the Choctaws and Cherokees, they said 1/4 of those Indians died on the trail. How many of the Shawnees died coming to Oklahoma upon their removal? Any idea? Or did they have a bad deal like the other 5 tribes did?
I'm sure they did. I don't know.
Well, every tribe had removal. They bring them all over here. Well, Jink, anything on that?
Not a thing, Joe. I think you did get, she's white turkey.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I want to thank you for the interview.
You're welcome.
Thank you.